Dear learners, I'm Kasa Moses Damba, a teacher of Namugongo Secondary and Vocational School. We have our lessons on YouTube. Therefore, as our students of Namugongo Secondary and Vocational School, we request you to go to the YouTube channel, look for Namugongo Secondary and Vocational, download these lessons and utilize them anytime you want them. You can utilize them during school time. You can also utilize them in the holiday. And when you're at school or at holiday, you are free to call us after watching this video, and then you consult. We are going to be there to answer all the questions that you be having after watching. Our lesson today is derived from Section E. CRE has 5 sections, and therefore this lesson is for candidates. It is derived from Section E, that is man's response to God through love and faith. And therefore, this theme, man's response to God through love and faith, has 3 sub-themes. Therefore, we are starting to look at the first one, that is man's search for God. Before we start our lesson, we are going to look at our objectives. And by the end of the lesson, the learners should be able to give the meaning of the word man's search for God. And then the second objective is, by the end of the lesson, the learners are supposed to be able to give the reasons as to why man searches for God. Therefore, let's look at the meaning of the word search. The word search, man's search for God. The word search means to look for. It also means to quest for. Therefore, man's search for God refers to man looking for God. Therefore, when you are looking for God, we can also say you are searching for God. We can also say you are questing for God. Therefore, dear learners, to search for God refers to looking for God in simple terms, but it also refers to questing for God. The following are the reasons as to why man looks for God. Man looks for God because of his characters, his unique characters. God has unique characters, and one of them is omnipresent. God is omnipresent, and that's why man looks for him. God is everywhere. The word omnipresent or omnipresence means God is everywhere. So that's why man looks for him, or why man searches for him. You can read in the Bible, you can read Psalms 33, verses 13 to 14, and then Psalms 139, 7 to 10. God is outside and inside. Therefore, God is everywhere. You can find God inside. God can come in, that's to say in the world, and he will go back wherever he lives. So God is everywhere. We should behave well, knowing that God is everywhere. So when we commit sin, we should be able to repent because God is everywhere. Secondly, God is omniscience. That's the other reason why people search for him. God is omniscience. It means God is all-knowing. That's why God is scientific. The word omniscience means God is scientific. Omniscience. God is all-knowing, so he's more knowledgeable. Our knowledge, his knowledge surpasses our knowledge. We have just something small of God's knowledge. So God is all-knowing and is more knowledgeable. All the wisdom God has, he just gave us something small from his knowledge and wisdom. So God is omniscience, is all-knowing. So that's second reason why people look for God. Then the third reason why people look for God is that God is omnipotent. God is omnipotent. God is all-powerful. Omnipotence means God is powerful. So learners, you should know that God is omnipotent. God is very powerful. All the power people of the earth or in the earth have is just something tiny from what God has shared to them. You can read Genesis 17, verses 1 to realize that God is omnipotent. And then you can read Exodus 6 to realize that God is almighty. So almighty, omnipotent. God is very powerful. He can do bigger things that man cannot imagine. So that's why people search for God. Then the other reason as to why people search for God is that God is transcendent. God is the creator. The word transcendent means God is the what? The creator of everything. He's Alpha and Omega. He's our creator. Therefore, you can read Genesis 1, chapter 1, verses 1 and the following verses. It will show you in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, God created everything that is on earth. So God is transcendent. God is the creator. He's an Alpha and Omega. That's why people look for him. And therefore, students, you should look for him. Then, the other reason why people are looking for God, the reason why people are looking for God is that God is imminent. God is eminent. God is eminent. God is close. God is very close to man. That's why people look for him. God is eminent. God is very close to us. You can read Isaiah chapter 7, 14, 8. Isaiah, and read the book of Isaiah. Chapters 7, verses 14. 7, 14. You'll be able to see that God is close to us in everything we do. God is part of us since we are in God's image. The word, I've very much used the word omni. The word omni is a Latin word meaning all. I've very much used it. Okay? Then we have the other reason why people search for God. It is because God is all loving. God is all loving. God is the source of love. So the love here we are talking about is agape love, holy love. So God is loving. So we should be loving. So most people search for God because God is loving, is the source of love. So they want to try this. They want to try this. So you can read John 4:7. John, the book of John, 4 verses 7, 21. If you wanted to have more details about this love that God has. Then lastly, among these characters of God that show that indicate why people are searching for him is that God is merciful. God possesses the attribute of mercy. He's the most kind person. And when he was creating man, God imparted the character of mercy into us. So that's why we have that's why we have to be merciful to one another. When you read the Bible, Genesis 19:14, you realize that God was able to have mercy on Lot and his daughters in the cities of Sodom. He did not destroy them. Okay? So in addition to other factors, in addition to the characters of God, we have other reasons as to why man searches for God. These include the presence of chronic diseases. These are other reasons. Other reasons. These are other reasons why man searches for God. Because of chronic diseases. Chronic diseases like HIV, AIDS. Diseases like cancer, okay? Ebola. Ebola is very dangerous. Then we have COVID-19. COVID-19. Because of these dangerous diseases, man has decided to search for God. Then, the other reason as to why people search for God is the barrenness. Some of our people are barren. They are not able to produce children. They are not able to produce children. Therefore, because some women are not able to produce children, they dedicate much of their time to search for God. And then the other reason why many people search for God is that there is increasing terrorism and war in most parts of the world. So, war, acts of terrorism in the world. Currently, we have Russia and Ukraine. These two are fighting, and many people have lost life. So, because of these acts of war and terrorism in Russia and Ukraine, in Somalia, in Sudan, and other parts of the world, this makes people to search for God. Then, the increasing unemployment of youths. Unemployment of youths. Today, many youths don't have jobs. So because they don't have jobs, they decide to search for God, because it's the answer. He's all-knowing, he's all-wise. He will be able to provide the jobs. Then, the other reason we can talk about is the delayed parousia. Delayed parousia, that is delayed coming back of Jesus Christ. Delayed parousia. This is Jesus has delayed to come back. Has delayed to come back. So because Jesus has delayed to come back and is the solution to most of the challenges that man has, that's why people are searching for God. So that by the time he comes, because Jesus will come back within a blink of an eye. Therefore, if you are not prepared, your challenges might not be solved. Then, the increasing acts of corruption. Increasing corruption. In the world, most of the government officials are misusing the government funds. Someone is given $1 billion to construct a school, and he takes it home for his own benefit. Therefore, this has made many people to search for God. Therefore, dear learners, we have very many sample questions, but on this case, we are going to have one sample question, and the question is, why does man search for God? This type of question is a comprehension type of question. You can call it comprehensive. I've given you a sample question, one sample question. Why do people search for God? Okay. This is a comprehension type of question. Comprehension. Therefore, when such a question is set with why, this is an action verb. This is an action verb. When a comprehension question is set with an action verb, why, you are supposed to use a conjunction. When you're answering it, you're supposed to use a conjunction because. Supposed to use the conjunction because when you're answering it. And therefore, when you're answering this question, you're supposed to start with an opening statement. And the opening statement is got from the question. The question says, why do people search for God? So you are supposed to start your answer with this underlined. People search for God. People search for God because you bring this conjunction. Because he, when we are referring to God and Jesus and the angels, we use, when we are referring to God and the angels, we are using pronouns, we capitalize the pronouns. So, people search for God because he is all-loving. Is all-loving. Okay? So the tense is correct. People search for God. You have maintained the tense in the question. You have used the conjunction. So I'm going to mark you PS. And then you get your point that side. For this kind of question, we can allocate it. On the question paper, it will have 10 marks. So when I'm marking, I can give it 7 PS, 3 SH. So SH, 3 SH, these are examples. You have to give examples. Okay? You have to give us examples. If you say God is transcendent, God is the creator, what did he create? You tell us God created man. You get the SH mark. Are we together? So, dear learners, we are happy to have you in this lesson, our first lesson. Therefore, we request you to go to the YouTube channel and download our lessons, play them all the time, read them all the time, watch them all the time, and then call us. And while you are at school, come direct, after watching our video, come direct with your question from that video, and we are going to be able to respond. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.